You ever have one of those mornings where the world tells you who you are before you even sip your coffee? The sky's soft, the rooster's doing his thing, and then a camera tells the whole town you're the problem. 3 seconds. A shiny truck barrels across my pasture, dust up to the eaves, my dog bolts, and a woman laughs into her phone like she's on a stage. That was the day Marion Vale decided my land looked like a racetrack, and that's where this whole mess began. My name's Eli Mercer. I grew up on this place. My granddaddy carved the fence posts with a pocket knife. My mama taught me how to coax life out of stubborn dirt. This farm's not just acreage on a map. It's the stitched-up journal of our family. I fix the fence in the afternoons, check the cistern in the morning, and I know every rut on the lane. When Marion Vale moved into Westbrook Heights, all manicured lawns and committee meetings, I figured she'd keep her cul-de-sac drama in her cul-de-sac. I was wrong. Marion had a way of looking at property like it was a personality you could shame. She ran the homeowners association the way she ran her social feed, loud, polished, and always hunting for content. At first, it was little things, a polite note stuck on my mailbox about my weeds, a form about my unauthorized signage. I waved the flyers away, because you wave at flies and hope they go. Then the notes got louder, then formal, then personal. She started showing up at my gate with a clipboard, using big words I'd seen only in courthouse films. Encroachment, she said, like a diagnosis. Violation, she said, like a verdict. You have to understand the strangest part. One didn't hate Marion. I didn't want a war. I wanted my cows to be fed, my fences mended, and my nights quiet. But the way she framed things turned neighbors into jurors, and jurors into spectators. She'd record a live video of her strolls near my property, narrating like she was hosting a tour of wrongness, pointing to my hay bales like evidence. Her followers chimed in angry comments, snarky memes, and the town's gossip mill started to churn. I tried reason first. I offered to show papers, to walk the property line with her, to explain the easement that's been in the family for 60 years. Marion smiled, polite and clinical, and then sent a certified letter 2 days later demanding removal of unauthorized structures. She hired an inspector who arrived with a drone and a solemn face. He taped the survey, counted fence posts like an accountant auditing sin. It felt absurd, like watching someone escalate a backyard squabble into a production. The first time she trespassed with that truck, crushing a corner of my garden, was the turning point. She live-streamed it, commentary rolling. "Look how careless he is," she said. The feed lit up. I stood on my porch with my hands in my pockets, heat catching behind my ribs, and watched someone turn harm into spectacle. My neighbor Margot, sweet as pie and twice as sharp, came over that afternoon with a thermos and a look that said, "You gonna let her stomp on your life?" I didn't have an answer then. I had a pond full of mud and a sense that the world had tilted. So I did something dumb at first. I thought the public needed truth, so I put up cameras. Not in a paranoid way, but because truth shows up better on film than in gossip. The cameras caught everything. The way Marion's truck came in too fast, the casual toss of a cigarette on a dry berm, the way she laughed when a calf bolted. I saved the clips, because evidence is a better pillow than anger. Then I planned a counter that was small, stupid, and honest. Nothing cruel, nothing illegal, just a natural consequence. There's a low patch near my backfield that stays soupy after rain. I timed things, filled it with a little extra water, and left my gate open. The next time Marion decided to perform, she sped right in. The truck sank up to the axles. She panicked, the live feed sputtered, and for the first time in weeks, Marion Vale's audience watched her struggle instead of watch me fail. She climbed out, indignation dripping off her like mud. People like fireworks. They want instant justice. Folks who'd only ever seen Marion's polished side watched the clip and laughed at the spectacle. Some cheered. Some called it petty. The live stream that had once turned my life into an accusation now turned Marion into a cautionary tale. The town's balance shifted for a bit. That mud scene went viral in our little orbit. It felt like a win, until it didn't. Marion sued. She filed complaints about harassment, defamation, and she had the HOA breathing down my neck with notices thicker than a Bible. She painted me as a vigilante, while her feed painted her as a victim. The irony was a toothache. She'd started the camera war, and now we were burying each other under subpoenas. I hired a lawyer because sometimes you have to speak in paper when the town prefers sound bites. While lawyers did their thing, Marion's crew escalated in a different way. Someone spray-painted hoax on my barn in the dead of night. My fence posts were loosened, tools misplaced, a gate left open. Once, someone cut the rope that tied my hay bales, so the cattle scattered on the road and honked horns like a parade. I began sleeping with the light on and a rifle that I never intended to fire, just a promise to myself to protect what's mine. I don't like weapons. I like them less as symbols. But the escalation made me realize how quickly a neighborly dispute can become a fight for safety. The courtroom felt like a coliseum. Marion wore her best blazer, eyes like a hawk. Her attorney had that poise that says you can make a myth look like law. I walked in with my boots and my cameras, and the judge, a woman who looked like she saw too many small-town tragedies, let us speak. I played the footage, Marion's truck, her laughter, her live comments. I showed the drone footage that proved the truck's path, the timeline that proved the trespass. Marion's team countered with affidavits and words meant to pierce. But evidence is a patient creature. It waits, it shows up, and it refuses to be dramatic. The judge asked a couple of pointed questions, then asked the jury to look at what cameras don't lie about. We didn't get the sweeping victory some folks wanted. There were fines on both sides, angry op-eds, and a restraining order that made Marion back off her patrols. The law didn't hand me the redemption of a movie, but it handed me something steadier, a measured space to rebuild. After court, life tried to find its old rhythm. But the farm had a new layer, now a film of irony and caution. People waved differently. Margot baked less, but she stayed. My son's friends would come by and ask about the viral mud man, which made my boy laugh and made me feel both ridiculous and oddly proud. Marion retreated into rebranding. She posted a series about community safety that read suspiciously like damage control. Some of her followers drifted away, others doubled down. That's the thing about public spectacle. It fractures people into camps, and camps dig in. What changed for me was quieter. I began to wake up earlier, to walk the fields and talk to the fence posts like old friends. I fixed the holes not because I was afraid of Marion, but because this place deserves care beyond the headlines. The cameras stayed not as weapons, but as witnesses. I learned that evidence doesn't replace neighborliness. It just backs it up when words fail. There's a scene I keep replaying when the nights are long. Marion, mud on her shoes, standing at the edge of the yard with her phone tucked away, looking small for once. She wasn't a cartoon villain, then she was a person who'd bet her identity on being right and lost her footing. I don't celebrate her fall. I pity it. Power used badly is lonely, and people who build themselves around other people's mistakes find themselves with fewer friends when mistakes stop happening. People ask where I draw the line, when to push back, when to let things go. I don't have a scripture for that. I know this. You protect your home, you protect your family, but you try not to become the monster the other person warned you about. You try to answer spectacle with truth, not with louder spectacle. So where does this end? It doesn't really. Westbrook Heights quieted for now. Marion posts when she remembers to and wears a softer smile for the camera. I still fix fences. My son still chases the dogs. The town still talks at the diner. Some defend me. Some defend Marion, some watch for the next episode like it's television. And maybe that's the point. Community is messy, and justice in a small town is a conversation that never stops. If there's one thing I'd ask you, it's this: what would you have done? Was my mud trick clever or petty? Did Marion get what she deserved, or did she get what she made for herself? Drop a comment, tell me which side you see, what justice looks like to you, and whether evidence and patience are enough when a camera decides your fate. Share this if you think neighbors should settle things face-to-face more than feed-to-feed. And subscribe if you want to hear the next chapter, because around here, there's always another story waiting at the end of a dirt road.